October 1st, 2015. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 82 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Mike, I think we need to start a new segment on the show called What Are Casinos Thinking? With all the stories that we're getting from casinos.
Why don't we leave the what off?
Are casinos thinking?
Yeah, are casinos thinking?
That's good. I like that. Are they even thinking? Well, let's start off with this one story that I got from the Pocono Record, which is a small newspaper. It's in out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Okay. So there's a casino called the Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse in Grantville, Pennsylvania. It's near Harrisburg. It's this year-long racetrack with a casino, full casino.
Okay.
It was recently fined $13,000 by the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board for twice operating separate table games with decks of cards that were one card short.
All right.
Okay? $13,000, which is not much when you think about it for a fine.
So $6,500 per incident?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's hardly anything.
I'm thinking, okay, it's probably not intentional then, right? If they actually found out that the casino was intentionally cheating, it would probably be some huge fine, or they'd shut them down or something like that.
Yeah, this is probably something where they made a mistake.
Well, okay, there were two instances, right? In one of the instances, I'm just reading here now from the paper, a jack of spades fell unnoticed into the well at a blackjack table when a dealer, shuffling the deck, dropped several cards. That card was discovered by another dealer about 24 minutes later. During that time, 32 hands were played without the missing card, compromising the integrity of the game. This incident was self-reported by the casino to state gaming officials.
One less 10 in the deck of blackjack is significant.
Yeah, that is, especially if they're saying that the dealer was shuffling. So it might have been single deck, right? And you take a face card out like that. Yeah, that hurts the player. But, it seemed like an honest mistake. They
reported it.
And they reported it themselves, right? So it's like, okay.
Now, I wonder, just to be devil's advocate for a second.
All right.
Okay, so it's a casino. They know they played 32 hands. Do they send a letter to those people saying, I'm sorry, you played 32 hands. We noticed that you lost, some of them.
Yeah,
you won some of them. We owe you some money.
Yeah, please
We're sending you a
contact
check. Yeah, please contact us. We're sending you a check.
Yeah, I don't think that happened. There was nothing in the article that said anything about compensation of the players during this period, right? And, really, we're saying, okay, it was an honest mistake. But if it's a single deck game and you've dropped cards, you'd think that they would either check the whole deck or just bring in a new deck right away. Right.
Yeah. Say, okay, get rid of that. Let's start over.
Whatever. Okay. Here's the other instance. A 7 of hearts was damaged by an automatic shuffler at a Spanish 21 table and taken out of play. A floor person told the dealer to put the damaged card to the side and continue dealing the game.
Yeah, that's precious.
The floor person contacted the table game's shift manager and asked for a replacement card. Play continued at the table for 58 minutes before the card was replaced, during which 42 hands were played. This incident, too, was self-reported by the casino to state gaming officials. How could a floor person make this decision?
We don't need
put
that.
Put to the side. Yeah.
I wish they do that at craps. When a die goes off and gets lost, just roll that one for a while.
Just roll the one for a while.
Just roll the one for a while and let's see what comes up.
That's right. I'd like to buy the 10.
Yeah, really.
Well, serious. Okay, now a 7 coming out of a Spanish 21 deck. I didn't go through the numbers, but that might actually not hurt the player. That might actually help the player
in Spanish 21.
In the regular game of Spanish 21 because all the 10s have been removed. Right. However, if you remember in Spanish 21, there's like a bonus that you get
for 777.
Yeah, if you're dealt 3 7s,
right.
There's a certain bonus, and if they're suited, you get even more.
Right.
So just that being out, makes the chances of hitting that bonus a lot less.
Sure, it's never good for a player.
I can't believe that the floor person made this decision. I wonder if the players knew. I mean, could they see this all going on? It seems
Well,
like
if they
would.
did, why would they play? I mean, I would have got up and said, no, that's okay.
Actually, the floor person, we're going to just leave this card out of the deck. Is that okay with everybody
Anyone
checking
have a
with the
problem?
table?
And it took them 58 minutes to get it back.
50, almost an hour to get it back.
That I can kind of understand. I can kind of understand because they probably had to get somebody to go down to CVS
right.
and buy a pack of cards.
Right.
There's probably a long line. There's always a lady at CVS in front of you, with
yes.
like 12 candy bars,
Right, she
trying to get them on sale.
Exactly, and she doesn't have her purse out, when it's time to pay. Then she ends up writing a check.
Yeah, it's terrible. Then they have to clear the check. And so it would take a while. I can understand
that. And plus, then once you have the deck, you have to go through the whole thing until you get to the 7 of hearts.
Right.
Because that's the only missing card. That's the one they're going to bring
And then the dealer, the pit guy's got to take his marker out and cross out the old maid stuff on it so it looks like a real card.
They don't have replacement decks ready. It's out of a shoe, but
every casino I've ever been in the blackjack pit has their desk in the middle, where the pit boss usually stands or writes stuff or whatever, and they have a drawer with cards in there. Because they always, whenever it's time to change cards, they go and they open that drawer, they pull out some decks, they change cards. Now, why wasn't there?
I don't know. I love this story. Oh my God. What are casinos thinking? Here's another one. All right.
Our casinos thinking.
Well, our casinos thinking?
Yeah.
We got an email from Larry. Okay. And a little background first. When you're playing craps, when there's a new shooter, the stick man, he's got a big bowl of dice in front of him, usually 5 or 6 dice.
The
right?
boat.
And he dumps that out onto the table and pushes all the dice to the new shooter, like 5 or 6 dice. And then the shooter picks out the 2 that he wants and shoots from then. And the idea is that the 2 that he picks out are going to be the dice he uses for his whole roll.
Yeah, if he so chooses.
If he could always ask for new dice, or if a dice, like one of the die goes off the table, and then they can't find it, then obviously you have to bring in a new die. But for the most part, it's just those are the 2 dice that you're going to shoot the whole time. So
people are superstitious about that, like everything else.
Right?
Really doesn't matter which 2 you pick up.
No, it doesn't. But part of the fun of playing the game, if you want, all right, fine. That's
choose your 2.
All right. So here's the email we got from Larry. This happened to me on a hot roll at a strip casino. I hit my 5th point, and when the dealers were ready for the next come-out roll, the stick man pushes all the dice toward me like I had just 7'd out and was starting a new roll. I had never seen that before and let the pit boss know it. Have you ever seen this before? Now, I wrote back to Larry asking if he could tell whether or not the dealer had done it intentionally. Because we've seen it before where dealers like, shoot, I'm sorry, I thought it was a new shoot, and they dump the tray.
Yeah, that happens.
That does happen.
That happens because sometimes they're just not thinking and they dump that, especially if there's a long lag between. There's a lot of prop bets to pay. There's a long time. They just, it must have been a 7 out.
And it must be a new shooter.
They dumped the boat.
Well, Larry wrote back. He said he was in line at the cashier and he was talking to some of the players that had been at the table. They said that they saw the pit boss kind of touch the stick man on the shoulder, like right before, kind of like, dump the tray, that kind of thing.
Really?
Right? Yeah. So, didn't actually hear any words, but kind of like, do this.
That's terrible.
It really is. It is so stupid because here we're talking about superstition, right? Is that pit boss superstitious? He needs to find another job if he's superstitious. Like this will cool off the table.
Well, the last thing you would want if you owned a casino was pit bosses who are superstitious.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, that doesn't even make sense.
No.
They should be analytical and by the numbers.
Yeah, the math is in their favor. The math's coming in.
Oh, God, I would have loved it if he had just, rolled another, I don't know, Larry had rolled like another 5 points or something.
I know, that would have been great. As it turned out, he 7'd out on, that point, right?
Of course,
right? But
I would have loved to roll another point and then just look at the box man and just say, hey, another point.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the new dice.
All the casino is doing, the pit boss in particular, is angering the customer. That's all it does.
Right.
It doesn't cool off the table.
No.
It just angers the customer. Now, the customer can be superstitious, right? The customer can enjoy throwing the same dice. That's fine.
Right.
That's part of the, fun of playing at a casino, right?
Right.
But the casino isn't a business, and this is just stupid business.
And being in the business, they ought to know the 36 combinations on the dice are independent of which 2 you roll, right?
Are casinos thinking?
Good question.
All right, here's another story. Now, on our last episode, listener Kevin told a story about how he bought some beers at the New York gift shop because he was tired of waiting for the cocktail waitress to come by at a blackjack table, right? So he just bought beers for the whole table and took them over to the table. And the pit boss said he couldn't drink them there. He could only drink beverages that the cocktail waitress had brought to the table. Okay?
For security purposes.
We still can't figure that out. Anyway, Chris from the Faces and Aces Las Vegas podcast sent us this message on Twitter. The New York drinking thing has been a policy that's been in place for at least 10 years. I once won a bottle of champagne at a blackjack table by getting a 777. There we go. That 777 we're talking about, right? They had some kind of bonus. You get 777, you get a bottle of champagne.
He wasn't playing in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have gotten it if he'd been playing in Pennsylvania.
No champagne.
The pit boss handed me a bottle while I was sitting at the table. So I asked the waitress for 4 glasses so I could share it with my table mates. They said, you can't drink it. You can only drink it if the waitress brings it to you. I said, but you just handed it to me. The pit boss said, sorry, you can't drink it unless the waitress brings it to you. So I gave it to the waitress. She took it to the bar. She opened it at the bar. She grabbed 4 glasses and brought it to us at the table. Then and only then were we allowed to drink it. What are we missing, Mike? What is going on?
It's crazy. Well, the thing is, okay, maybe it has something to do with tips. And I think your wife brought this up.
Yeah, my wife said maybe it's, so that the cocktail waitresses get more tips or,
Right.
But you and I were talking about how often is this an issue?
Yeah, I mean, this can't be a regular occurrence, right?
I mean,
first of all, I don't think there are too many people that'll leave their table to go buy beers for the other people at the table.
Right.
And not so many people are getting 777 and winning champagne. So I don't think it happens a lot. And if it did, I guarantee you, if it's me and I won the champagne, I want to open it. If the cocktail waitress brings us 4 glasses, I'm still tipping her.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah,
even if it's just that, right.
She went and got us 4 glasses. I'll give her a tip. This makes no sense at all. It's frustrating.
If it had only been the champagne story, I would say, they probably don't want you popping it at a table. You might not know how to open a champagne bottle, right? And you take somebody's eye out. But no, it's all. I actually tweeted directly to New York, and I asked them about this policy. Of course, they didn't respond.
No,
a lot of people.
You're on a list now. They've got a list of people that are barred from the casino and troublemakers, and you're down there at the bottom somewhere. Yeah, this guy sent us a bad email.
Are casinos thinking?
I don't know. Now, I was talking with a patient the other day. She said she had gone on a trip to Las Vegas with some friends of hers. Her friend had won some kind of free room thing at Tropicana.
Yeah.
So they stayed at Tropicana.
Okay.
I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I asked her how it was. She said very old.
Yeah.
Kind of run down.
Well, they went through some upgrades here recently. I've heard that it's pretty nice.
Well, I don't know. But, right. It's probably older than some of the newer casinos.
Of course, sure.
Right?
There's going to be some,
it probably still looks that old flavor to it.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of crowded. Did you think that casino's kind of packed in tight?
I guess so. Mike, I'll be honest with you. It's been so long since I've been to Trop.
Well, the last time I was there, I kind of got that feeling it's packed in. It wasn't as open an area as some of the newer casinos.
Okay.
Anyway, I asked her, and she said, oh, yeah, we had a good time, and we talked a little bit. And then she said, there was one weird thing about Tropicana. The refrigerators in the room. There are no refrigerators in the rooms.
Okay, well.
So I said, maybe they had problems or something. And she said, no, there's a space for a refrigerator.
Okay.
And you can call down to the desk and have a refrigerator brought up to the room.
Okay.
But it's $10 a day to have a refrigerator in your room.
In your room.
So if you're there for 3 days, say a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's $30 to have a refrigerator in your room.
Yeah. Boy, I mean, they're nickel and diming you. I mean, it's...
Now, I don't understand a refrigerator. Now, I can understand if they had issues with refrigerators or they're trying to save on electricity.
Sure.
So they don't
automatically have a refrigerator in
there.
But
if you ask for one, shouldn't they just bring that to you?
So there's actually a space.
There's actually a space in the cabinet for the refrigerator to fit in.
Okay,
I see.
And
she said when they brought it up there, they just put it in and plugged it in and, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
And then you get charged $10 a day.
$10 a day. Wow.
That is crazy. Mark and I were talking about this before, and we're not in the room a lot, but we do like to have a refrigerator because sometimes we come back with a drink, like a soda or something.
Yeah.
We pop it in the fridge, or we bought some candy or whatever. I mean, I know when my kids have been there, we had pizza and we had leftover. We popped it in the fridge and the kids snacked on it a few hours later.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's just nice to have a refrigerator.
Yeah, these days it's very common. I don't want to go so far as to say it's standard, but, most hotel rooms, certainly the better ones have one.
But why wouldn't you want to have one?
Yeah, I don't know. And, sometimes the refrigerators are like dedicated mini bars.
Right.
But usually you could like call down and say, hey, I'm not going to use the mini bar, but I want to use it as a fridge. Can you come take everything out? And they'll do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to actually bring up a fridge and charge you $10 a day.
And charge you. I mean, what's next? I mean, towels?
Oh, I know. Well, with these.
Sir, you get one towel. I don't care how big you are. One towel. You want extra towels? $5 a towel.
Yeah, $5 a towel. That's to rent the towel.
That's to rent
Can I just buy a towel? How much is it to buy a towel?
They're going to be checking your bag. Look, you can't bring towels. Clothes are fine.
That's right.
You cannot bring your own towel.
That's right. Unless the cocktail waitress brings you the towel, you cannot use this towel.
Right. Not in our casino, sir.
That's just policy. Are casinos thinking?
Good question.
All right, let's wrap up that segment. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, when you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. Our friend Ed from Atlantic City, actually he's from New York, but we met him in Atlantic City. He sent us a couple of things. The first is a video of the craps game that they play at the Hard Rock Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this is something to see. I'll post a link to this video. But in Oklahoma, dice are not allowed, just like here in California, right?
Correct.
So they have to use cards to run the craps game. So here's how it works. They've got a deck of cards, 36 cards, right? Each representing one of the possible rolls of 2 dice. Right.
So kind of like at Pala.
At Pala, right? So just 36 cards, you flip it over and it actually shows like a picture of 2 dice and it's, one of the combinations on each one of the cards, right?
Okay.
For every roll, every single roll, the stick man shuffles this deck manually.
Well, that must go fast.
It doesn't go into an automatic shuffle or anything. He shuffles it manually, right?
Right, okay.
Then he takes the deck, he puts it in this little kind of container and pushes the deck to the shooter, the person who's designated as the shooter, right?
Right.
The shooter takes a cut card that's supplied with the deck, cuts the deck.
Okay.
The stick man pulls it back to himself and then flips over the card next to the cut card in the deck, and that's the roll.
Wow.
Okay? Every single roll.
Wow.
You'll have to watch this video because it's so tedious. And then on top of that, we've talked about this too in Oklahoma for table games, you have to pay an ante.
Right.
Right? This ante is what goes to the casino, and then like the casino winnings, I can't even remember where they go, but it's, the casino supposedly makes their money from this ante. So every come out roll, you've got to pay $1.
On the come out only.
As far as I could tell, it's only on the come out roll. Okay. And I think there is an exception. If you've got money, if like the come out roll's like a craps, 2, 3, or 12, you don't have to pay it again.
Okay.
It's only like, basically any other time. Right. You have to pay this $1 on the.
What about if 7's rolled? Then
I think if 7's rolled, you have to pay again right away. I believe so, but I might be wrong. But anyway, in any case, you've got to pay this ante, which is.
You know how hard it is when we have a home game, we have a little tournament to collect antes in a poker game? Everyone's doodling and whatever. And you're like, come on, ante up, ante. Can you imagine on a craps table?
Well, I mean, the boxman, that's like, I was watching this video. That was basically her job. Most of all was to collect these antes. She had these stacks of,
yikes.
The ante that she would keep track of. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'll post a link to the video. You haven't watched it yet. You'll get a kick out of it,
I could never play that game.
It'd be painful.
Never play that game. It'd be so slow.
It would be so painful.
I mean, video Keno is faster than that.
Well,
right?
Sure. It's because it's video.
It's video. Yeah. Live Keno's probably pretty close to that fast.
Another thing that Ed sent us, there's this thing called a Founders Card. And I'm going to read just straight from the Founders Card website here. It says, Founders Card is a global membership community of over 20,000 entrepreneurs, innovators, and business professionals, offering exclusive access to premier benefits with travel, hotel, business and lifestyle brands, and unique member networking events throughout the world. So basically, it's just this card that you pay for and you get some discounts or amenities if, you're an executive, basically,
right? If you use certain... Probably have to use certain...
like rental car companies at different hotels.
Certain companies.
And it's kind of steep. I think it's like $700 a year, or sometimes they have deals going where it's like $300 for the first year or whatever. Wow. Certainly not something you and I would ever do. Yeah. But Ed noticed that one thing is when you get this card, you're automatically given diamond status through Caesars Total Rewards.
Wow.
So just an interesting little tidbit. I'll put a link to their page too, even though, like I said, it doesn't seem like anything we'd ever be interested in.
No, it seems like one of those things that's, what are they called? Your kids sell them at school, the big book with all the entertainment. Yeah, they have all those things, It always seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
And then I always buy one because the kids, it's a fundraiser for the school.
Sure.
But then, you use like 2 of the coupons and you save like $5 and you never use it again.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good enough analogy.
Well, I mean, that's what happens.
$20?
It's $20, but that's what happens in our house.
Yeah, I don't know.
We always look at it and think, oh my God, we'll save, hundreds of dollars using this. And then we forget about it and we find it like 2 years later stuffed between the seats.
Your point is well taken, but when we've gotten it in the past, we use it quite a bit. So I'll just say that.
Well, I don't. I mean, ours always seems to get lost in the car and then we forget.
Yeah, right. And then, you find one from 2 years ago.
That'd be me with this Founders card.
Oh, yeah,
I'd get one and I'd use it once or twice and then just forget I had it.
Yeah. Well, you and I don't travel that much, too, right?
No, it'd be someone like my brother who travels a lot.
Right. Oh, we got an email from Jack. Now, Jack lives in the UK where there isn't a lot of craps, but he does live close to a casino where they have one of those craps machines. We've talked about these before. It's a kind of a big machine. It's got 2 big dice in the middle, and they kind of pop up like an old Pop-O-Matic from the Trouble board game, right? And you can play craps, right? And usually for lower limits, too. So anyway, it's a way to play.
Good game.
He says that there's a feature on this machine that shows how many rolls there have been since each hardway has hit. All right. So, you might see, oh gosh, it's been 100 rolls since the last hard 8, right? It's due, right?
It's like the roulette wheel with all the numbers, the previous numbers.
Yeah, right. It shows the numbers. Yeah. So he asked if we would be influenced to make a hardway bet, or in your case, Mike, since you always make them, if you want to press your bet, if we had access to this information at the table. He also wrote, in fact, Mark, as you record each roll, do you note this anyway? I haven't kept track of rolls in a long time. And the only reason I was doing it before, not to really find patterns or stuff like that. I was more curious to look at the numbers afterwards. But it was more of a curiosity than trying to...
You did keep track of hardways, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. I kept track of all the difference, but I don't know that I was sitting there looking, it's been, X number of rolls since a hard 8. I never really, looked at that. What do you think? Would this change the way you...
No way.
Yeah,
it would not change it in any way.
No, me neither.
Because it's just like the roulette wheel. I mean, you could go up and look at that board on the roulette and it could say that red came up 12 times in a row.
Yep.
No reason to bet black.
Yeah, right. It's the old gambler's fallacy, right? Ed, red's come up 12 times in a row. Black is due.
Right. It's not due.
Yeah, right.
It's going to come up statistically the same amount of times. I bet my hardways the same way.
Yeah.
Just because a hard 8 hasn't come up. I mean, we've played a whole night and not seen like a hard 10 or something, right?
Yeah.
So, just because it's been a while, although I do tell Mark, and I tell him every single time, he's like, oh, those hardways are killing you, Mike. They're killing you. And I'm like, Mark, they're coming. They're coming. They come in bunches. And then sure enough, there'll be, some shooter that rolls like 10 of them or something, right?
Yep. It always happens. In fact, I think you're up for hardways.
Yeah.
I think you're ahead for hardways just based on that philosophy.
If I'm ahead for hardways, I'll stop betting them.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess you won't stop betting them.
No,
I guess
not
you're going to be betting them like
soon.
crazy now. Hey, let's go to our voicemail hotline. Don't forget, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. Let's hear from Derek.
Hey, boys. It's Derek from Utah calling in. It's been a little while. I thought I'd check in and basically, I got a question for you. With football season and everything going on, I got a question about sports wagering as far as when I went out to the local casino out here, or I guess out in Wendover. It's not a casino in Utah, obviously. We've covered that before. But they have these little betting kiosks in some of the smaller casinos. They're linked up, I guess, to a national chain, probably somewhere out of Las Vegas or somewhere. And I'm pretty familiar with a parlay or straight up bet, money bets or money lines, all that kind of thing. My question to you guys is, they have a round robin feature. And as far as that goes, I'm unfamiliar with how a round robin bet would work as far as winning and losing. And if you guys could explain that to me, I'd greatly appreciate it when it comes to betting on football or any sport. I think the option was there for a round robin, and I just was unfamiliar with it. Also, I was going to chime back in about the leaving the card in to earn player comps that I called about these months ago. Long story short, went out to give it a try, went to the high limit slot area and noticed there's a few people that were trying that same technique. So I don't know if they listened to the show or just decided to leave their cards in for the same reason, maybe build up some fast credit. Anyways, like you guys said, it timed out at probably, I think it was 2 to 3 minutes, depending on the machine, if it was inactive. So I love the show, still listening, and hope you guys come out and visit sometime.
Yeah, so Derek had called before saying, hey, what about this? What if I took my Players Club card and put it in a slot in the high limit area and just left, hoping that somebody would play the machine and then I would get, credit for it.
Right.
And yeah, we were saying, it's probably not really worth it because if somebody's playing in the high limit room, they'll probably just take your card out.
Right.
And
put theirs in.
Right. And even if they didn't, when you put your card in, it times out. Right. So it's, if it's
played enough.
Yeah, if you haven't played, it just stops. And so you wouldn't get credit for it anyway. So that's what he's
what's funny is his call reminds me of just last weekend, right? We were waiting for some food and we were standing by a slot machine and you noticed there was a card in there.
That's right. Yeah.
So we took the card out. It had timed out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We took the card out, put it back in.
Right.
Just to check and see what their tier score was.
Yeah. Right. You can see that. Yeah. You didn't need a password for that.
So we saw this person's tier score and how much reward credits they had and stuff. I mean, you can't do anything.
No,
with that.
You do need the password to actually access any of the funds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was just funny to see. We saw it was some lady. We saw what her player level was.
Yep.
And I don't know why we did that. Just
we were bored. We were waiting for our food. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Round robin sports wager. Okay. It's just a way to make multiple parlay wagers from a pool of teams. Now, remember, a parlay is a single bet that multiple teams will win, right? If you did like a 6-team parlay, all 6 teams would have to win, but then you'd win a big amount of money, right? So the idea is a parlay is you pick several games, winners in several games, and they all have to win. But if they do, you get a nice payout, okay? Well, here's an example of a round robin. Okay, say you like 3 different teams on NFL Sunday. Team A, Team B, and Team C. Okay? You could just make a 3-way parlay, which would pay 6-1 if all your teams won, right? But even if a single one of your teams loses, you lose the bet, right? So all 3 have to win for you to win, otherwise you lose. Instead, you could make a round robin bet. You would say, give me a 2-team parlay round robin on Team A, Team B, and Team C. What you're saying is, using my 3 teams, make every possible 2-team parlay that you can, right? So in this case, it would be 3 separate 2-team parlay bets. The first one would be Team A and Team B. Another one would be Team A and Team C. And another one would be Team B and Team C. Right.
Possible combinations.
Those are all the combinations of 2. So that's what a round robin is. It's just you've got a pool of a certain number of teams and you want to bet all the possible parlay combinations there, right?
Correct.
And just as a reminder, 2-team parlays usually pay 2.6-1, 13-5. That's typically what they pay. So, if one of your team loses, that means at least, one of your parlays would win.
Right.
So, you'd get a little some back.
Right.
Whereas, you wouldn't get anything back if you'd just done the straight 3-team parlay. Now, there are many combinations you could make. You could say, hey, give me a 3-team parlay round robin using these 5 teams. Right? You could do all sorts of different combinations.
There'd be a lot more combinations.
There would be more. So in that example I just gave, you've got 5 teams and you're making 3-team parlays. Those of you familiar with combinatorics, that's just 5 choose 3. It's just how do you choose 3 unique things out of a pool of 5? And 5 choose 3 is 10. Right. So you'd have 10 different 3-team parlays. Yeah. Right. So that's all a round robin is. Yeah.
Now, have you ever heard of a round robin going more than 1 week for like an NFL. So could you have, say, this team this week and this team next week and another team, say, a third week, have 3 different weeks?
I haven't heard of that, and maybe they do it, but I would be surprised that they do because the lines change, from week to week.
That's true.
You wouldn't know what the line is for a second week, so it'd have to be some kind of futures bet, and it certainly wouldn't be
It'd probably be
obvious.
too complicated.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything's offered.
I was just thinking
that.
about putting the Chargers against every team.
Yeah.
Have them lose.
Well, then what you do is you just pick the Chargers an under for total wins for the season, right?
Yeah.
Just put a little
whoever bet on that is sitting pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause it was like 8, I believe.
Was it 8?
8. And I just don't see him winning 8 games.
Let's not talk about the Chargers for the rest of the podcast. Is that okay?
That's good with me.
All right, let's go to a call from Matt.
Hey, guys. This is Matt again from Indianapolis. Again, really appreciate the work you do on the show. A couple of quick questions. When my friends and I have been out to Vegas, we always see people setting the dice. And I know this kind of opens a can of worms maybe, but I was wondering if you guys would speak a little bit about whether you set the dice a certain way before you roll. And then secondly, when you see others roll, does the way they set the dice change your approach to betting? In other words, if you see someone that doesn't look like they know what they're doing or haven't had a lot of experience at the crap table, does it change the way you bet because you think they don't know how to roll the dice properly? I've got a wacky friend of mine, and he insists that he will not bet the same way unless he perceives someone else understanding and knowing how to roll the dice with the right touch to it. So just was wondering on your comments. Again, really appreciate your show, and look forward to future episodes.
Okay, well, we do set the dice.
Yeah, we do. We do different things. I don't set them the same way every time.
Yeah.
In a night, I might roll the dice like, say, 4 or 5 times in the period of a night.
Yeah.
And I like to change every time I roll a different way. Sometimes I'll just always set it on like 5.
Right.
A 3-2 or a 4-1.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes I like 5 and 9. I'll set them on 5 or 9.
Yeah.
Last week, did you notice I was setting the dice when I first pick them up at the come out? Whatever 2 I picked up, like if it was a 2 on the green dice and a 4 on the red, I set it to 2-4 green red every time.
Okay, yeah.
And just for fun.
Yeah, see, why do we do it? It's for fun. We don't think that it has any effect on the rolls.
It has no effect.
Yeah, I agree.
It has
no effect. We do it just because it's fun.
And
now,
I would say to your wacky friend, I have seen shooters who pick up the dice and just slam them down the table, have long rolls.
Sure.
I've also seen shooters who pick up the dice and have a high arcing projection to their dice, and they've had good rolls.
Yep.
I've seen shooters who play with them and fidget with them and do all this stuff and have good rolls. And I've seen shooters who just pick them up and casually toss them halfway down the table, have good rolls. Every possible thing you can want, I've seen have good rolls. I've also seen those same people have bad rolls.
Yep, exactly.
So
do you change the way you bet based on that?
No,
I don't
not
either.
at all.
I don't either. But if your friend wants to, that's fine if that's fun for him.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I mean, that's part of gambling, right?
Right.
The thing is, we don't believe in any of these superstitions or in dice control or any of that stuff. But, it's kind of fun part of the game, right? So that's
I'll tell you
fine.
what does change when certain shooters are shooting is my mood.
Yeah, that's true.
I do get a little PO'd when they're playing forever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's taking forever. I mean, there's one guy out at Harris, Southern California that is so slow. He goes through this whole ritual.
Yeah.
And then he picks up the dice and then sits them down again on the table and stretches his arms out like his sleeves are bothering him and then picks the dice up and rolls them.
Yeah, that I really don't like because it's holding up the game and there's somebody that thinks they're really influencing what's going to happen, right?
And so many times I've seen him, have immediate 7 outs. I've seen him have good rolls too. Every roll of the dice is independent of every other roll.
Yeah.
And what you do ahead of time, how that makes any difference, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just a fun thing.
Just fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And if a guy's having fun, setting him a certain way and he's fast and efficient, power to him, more power to him. Yeah. But if he's slow, it does get on my nerves.
I agree. All right, next call.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out where online can you play Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Is there any website that provides the game online, Ultimate Texas Hold'em? Thank you.
Well, if you're talking actually playing for real, I think most of the online casinos, if you can legally access them, you can play Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
Sure.
If you're just talking about playing for fun, there are a couple of sites, and I will post links to them on the show notes. One is at tablegamesonline.com. They've got an Ultimate Texas Hold'em game that you can play. The other is at Wizard of Odds. It's nice. Both games allow you to play for fun, and they have settings that give you advice or let you know when you're about to make a mistake based on basic strategy. So, yeah, you can just play like crazy. They're actually pretty good. So, I'll
That'd be a good place to learn basic strategy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it shows you when you're messing up.
Right, because Ultimate Texas Hold'em has a complicated basic strategy. And my understanding is that perfect basic strategy is beyond a person's capacity. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'll post those. Okay, let's hear from New Jersey Dave.
Hi, guys. Dave from Northern New Jersey. Listening for quite a while. Love the show. So I was listening to you talking about the craft lessons. I took a couple lessons a couple of years back. One was at either the Venetian or the Wind, like a high-end place like that. And the other was at the Stratosphere, which is a little bit less of a high-end place. Anyway, at the time I took the lessons, I had already been a craps player for several years, so I pretty much knew what I was doing. But I just had, was down on my bankroll, had some time to kill, so I figured, what the hell, I'll take the lesson. And one thing I noticed about both lessons is that the guy giving the lesson was very disinterested and he was just like a monotone giving the information that he was like supposed to give out. It's not the best lesson in the world. Sometimes you can get much better information just finding a guy at the craps table and asking the question. The important thing is just don't screw up. Don't say anything about 7 or all that other superstitious crap. The one thing I really noticed about those crap lessons, which left me like wondering what kind of lessons they're giving, is the most important thing that I think a newbie needs to learn is like the relationship of where they stand compared to where their chips go in the place setting box and the hard way box, the other box. Once you learn that, a lot of the game starts looking more, well, you can start getting it because you can understand where your chips are, you can understand where other people's chips are. And once you figure that out, the next thing I tell people is, okay, now look at the size of those boxes, particularly the stuff in the middle. See how some of them are smaller than others? That's a gauge as to the popularity of the bet. And the smaller boxes, there's a reason they're smaller. They're just stupider bets. That stuff in the middle, the smaller the boxes get, super the best get. In fact, I knew a dealer in Vegas that used to call that the junk in the middle, which brings up another question. I get how particularly staff are discouraged from cursing. So at a craps table, why can't you call it the crap in the middle? Whatever. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Dave. You got cut off there at the end. But see, that is the risk that you run when you get these craps lessons from the casinos, right? There may be just some dealer there who's, just doesn't want to be there. He's thinking, these people, they're not going to play craps after I teach it to them, right? I'm wasting my time.
Well, it's probably not a good job for a dealer, right?
Yeah.
It's probably some guy who's on the schedule maker's bad list and like, all right, you're gonna teach craps today.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna try to do a good job at VIMP, and that's a good point. A lot of times when people come up to the craps table, they look at all the chips out there, and it's like, oh my gosh, how do the dealers keep track of all this? But there are very specific spots on the table where they put your bet relative to where you're standing at the table.
Yeah, they don't have to think or remember who made what bet.
Right. Yeah.
They just know that you're standing there, so your bet goes there. So when they pay that bet, they know who it goes to.
Exactly. And then if a new dealer comes along, right, because they switch about every 20 minutes, the old dealer doesn't have to explain where everybody's bets are. There are certain locations on the table. So, yeah, we'll definitely get to that when we see you at VIMP. All right, let's hear from North Carolina, Dave.
Fellas, this is Dave down in North Carolina. I'm still trying to work my way out there to California to move in with Dr. Mike. Since I lost my job and all, doing that research, getting that info for him about casinos in North Carolina a few shows back. But in the meantime, listen, 4 quick things. Number 1 is you guys continue to have the hands down, bar none, top of the line podcast. I listen to 500 and Gambling with an Edge and all those other ones, and I'm just telling you, you guys are the number one best podcast to listen to. Of course, I say that to all the podcasts that I call into. Second thing I wanted to tell you was, that free booklet that you offered back on episode number 79? The booklet was called How a Math Nerd Plays Craps, and it was free. That thing I thought was some really good, interesting, good reading. It introduced me to some strategies that I had never thought about before, and I'm still testing them out on the Wizard of Oz simulator, but hopefully it's going to work out good. I thought everybody might want to read that book. I thought it was really beneficial. It's worth every single penny, I'll tell you that. Third thing is, there was an article that I thought you guys might find interesting. It was in the New Yorker magazine, September 7th issue. I think that's 2 weeks old. And it was an article about Atlantic City, specifically that Revel Hotel. It was just a well-written article, and the beginning and the end of it, and all through talks about Atlantic City in general, but it gives you a really good explanation of what all went on up there with that Revel Casino. Fourth thing, I can't remember what it was, but if I think of it, I'll call you back. Thanks again, fellas, and keep up the good work.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Yeah, so the Math Nerd, How Math Nerd Plays Craps, still getting some good reviews.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing, especially if you want a strategy, if you will, that will extend your money.
Yeah, right. Let you play longer. Give you a good chance to win. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So yeah, this article in the New Yorker, it's called "The Death and Life of Atlantic City." It's a very good article. I will post a link to it, but we're not going to talk about it because last time we talked about Revel, I said, right, we're not going to talk about Revel again until and if it reopens as a casino, because I was getting tired about all the stories. But this is a good article. I'll put a link to it, yeah.
I was just going to say, I love when Dave calls.
Yeah.
And I particularly like this call because he said bar none.
You like that?
I like people who use the term bar none.
That's good.
We had a cab ride in Vegas once with a cabbie who kept saying over and over, bar effing none.
The whole time. He was the angriest cab driver we've ever had.
Oh, he was terrible. He was an angry person. There was a guy riding a bike on the side of the road, and he was nowhere near our cab. We were in like the second lane over.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like the biker was in his way or anything. And he's yelling at that biker, you blankety blank biker. And then he would say, I hate them, bar effing none.
And it's funny. We were kind of laughing in the back seat. And I said to the guy, we were stopped at a light for a long time. And I said, boy, these signals in Las Vegas, they're like the longest signals I've ever been at. And he said, it's the worst city for signals, bar effing none.
He was so great. Ever since that guy, I was a little scared.
Yeah, right. We're laughing, but we're also wondering if we're going to survive the trip. Yeah.
It was one of those things where I couldn't help but laugh, but I was a little scared,
Yeah.
And ever since then, when anyone says bar none, you just don't hear that enough.
No, you don't hear it very much.
No, I'm going to start using it.
Okay, good. So as you recall, we went up to Paula Casino recently, and Mike's dad was telling us about a side bet he was able to make at the blackjack table. We were up there. You and I played craps.
Yeah.
He played blackjack, so we didn't even see him playing. We didn't play any blackjack.
No, we didn't go over there.
But later he was talking about this side bet that he made, where if he won the side bet, he could take the winnings from his side bet and put it on his regular blackjack bet. So you and I are thinking, what? Are we hearing this right? He was trying to explain it to us, and we weren't really following what we were saying.
Yeah, and how many times does a casino let you add to your bet, right? After you've seen your cards.
I know, yeah. Well, we looked into it, okay? It is a real bet. The side bet is called house money. It's in a few casinos around the country, right?
Okay.
And it's called house money. You make it before any cards are dealt. Like a lot of side bets, you can bet as little as $1, and I think the maximum is like $25. Depends on the casino, but like $1 to $25, right? You make this side bet. If your first two cards are a pair or a straight, like a 2-card straight, just two consecutive cards, like 7-6, something like that, right?
Cards,
yeah. If it's a pair or a straight, the bet wins.
Okay.
If you have a 2-card straight, like I said, just 7-6, it's even money. If you have a pair, it pays 3-1. If you have a 2-card straight flush, so like 7 and 6 of hearts, it's 4-1.
Yeah.
And if it's a suited ace king, it's 9-1.
Have you worked down any odds on this?
Well, I'll explain the rest of it, but the Wizard of Oz odds puts the bet at like a little under 3% house edge.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the kicker. Your dad was right. When you win this bet, and by the way, you get paid in this bet no matter what happens in the blackjack hand. Even if the dealer has blackjack,
okay,
you were going to lose right away, you will still win this bet if you have a qualifying hand.
Okay,
right? Yes.
I gotcha.
Okay. Now, if the dealer doesn't have blackjack, you have the option of taking all the money that you've won from that house money bet, including the initial bet,
right,
and putting any or all of it onto your blackjack bet, adding it to your blackjack bet.
So at this point, when you add it, you haven't seen the dealer's cards. You know he doesn't have blackjack.
Well, you see his up card.
But you see his up card.
But you know he doesn't have blackjack. Right.
Okay.
Right. Yes, exactly. Right. So then at that point, it just plays out, like regular blackjack.
Okay.
And think about it. The highest payout on this side bet is if you have ace king suited. Well, if you have ace king suited, you've got blackjack. Right. Okay. And you can take that 9-1 plus your initial bet.
And put it on your bet.
Yeah,
which can't lose.
Right. Because, unless the dealer has blackjack. Right. Then you wouldn't put it on your bet. But it's a push anyway. Right.
But they tell you that ahead of time.
Right. Yeah.
So once you know that, you can't lose.
Yeah. So let's say you have $1 out on this house money bet. Right. Yeah. You get ace king suited, has to be ace king suited, right? So that gets paid 9-1. So now you've got $10 out there. You can add that to your blackjack bet
and get paid time and a half.
And get paid 3-2
if it's a 3-2 table.
If it's a 3-2 table, right? So that $1 has turned into $10, has turned into $25 because $10 plus the 15 that you get paid, right?
Right. Yeah. So your $1 became $25. It's a $24 win.
Yeah. So that's in that case. Now, again, when you win this bet, you have the option of adding to your blackjack bet. Now, obviously, there are going to be times when you don't want to do it. Let's say you have 7-8.
Right.
That's a 15, hard 15,
yeah, the dealer's got a 10 up. You're not adding to your bet.
You're not adding to it even if he's got a 6 up, right? You've got a 15, right? That's not the time to add to your bet, right?
Right.
And also be aware that sometimes you may be splitting a pair or like doubling down.
Right.
Keep in mind that if you want to, do that, you may have to actually go into your pocket for more money.
Right.
Right. So, let's say you have a pair, like pair of 5s, right? You get paid 3-1, you add it to your bet. Well, now you want to double down.
Right.
Right. Because you have a 10 against dealer 6 or something. You may be taking more money out of your pocket, right? You may be risking a little bit more. But that's just something to keep in mind. The Wizard of Oz has a basic strategy for when you should add your house money onto your blackjack bet and when you shouldn't. And of course, I'll put a link to that in the show notes. But I love this bet because there's nothing else like it that I can think of where you're
I've
actually,
never seen that.
Taking a side bet, which of course has a house edge, but then you can take your winnings and add it to your blackjack bet. It's very clever.
And it's great when you get a good hand, like, let's say you have Queen Jack.
Yeah, right. A 20. Right? Sure, of course.
And you've got a 2-card straight and you win your $1. Well, say you have $5. You win your $5. You add it there, right?
Plus the $5 you win. You can take the bet that you made, right? So you have $5. It pays even money. You have 10. You can now add it to your bet.
You can add $10 to your bet. The dealer's got a 7-up or something. You're sitting sweet.
Yeah. So we'll have to try this when we see this.
Yeah, we got to go play this.
Yeah.
It's at Pala, right?
They have it at Pala, and there are some other locations around the country. I don't think there are any locations in Vegas. Oh, I just don't know of any. There might be. I just don't know of any.
Yeah, if anyone knows, let us know.
Yeah.
We have to go back to Pala now.
I know.
I swore I wasn't going back.
Well, we won't play craps there. We'll just play this. That's all we're going to do.
We're going to go in, we're going to play this, we're going to get out.
Yeah,
You know that's not happening. Why do we even talk like we're going to do that?
We're going to go up there, prepared to do this. We'll end up playing craps the whole time, never do this, and then be angry that we played craps up there.
Right, driving home. I'll feel violated.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, there's a movie that came out this last week called Mississippi Grind, a gambling movie which is actually getting very good reviews. I think it's like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. We were going to see it this weekend and things fell through, so we haven't seen it yet, but it is getting very good reviews. So if you've seen it, let us know what you think. It's got Ryan Reynolds and somebody else I can't think, but it's supposed to be pretty good. Gambling movie.
Yeah, we'll have to see that. I saw the first episode of The Player.
Oh, what'd you think?
I liked it.
Did you? Yeah,
I liked it.
A couple of people I saw on the 500 Facebook page were saying, it's not that great. The writing's not that great. But the thing is, I don't know. Of course it's ridiculous. The concept, right?
It's extremely ridiculous.
But
and it's kind of quirky. In, how he rescues people and stuff and everything. I just like that, there's a lot of like when the guy gets impaled by the roulette table. Right?
I like when Wesley Snipes comes to rescue the main guy out of jail, right? Like he's in charge.
Right.
That's a funny scene. I like that. But anyway, good. Okay, good. Hey, so VIF is coming up. Mike, I've signed us up for the VIMPtucky Derby, and I've also signed us up for the VIMP Hangover Casino Cup Challenge. All right?
Yeah.
Where we're actually gambling. Now,
I hope they have pretty strong horses. I weigh 240.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah,
I did put you down on the jockey as the jockey.
It's going to be hard on that horse.
Here's what we're going to do.
We need a Clydesdale.
Here's what we're going to do. You're going to do the VIMPtucky Derby.
All right.
Okay, because I think you're good at that. I'm going to do the Hangover Casino Cup Challenge. Now, at first, I thought we'd be able to switch. Like you play one of the games and I play, but no, it's got to be one person. The games are going to be Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, and blackjack.
Well, that's your.
It just makes more sense to that I'll do that.
That's
okay,
up your alley.
And don't worry, I'll be aggressive. Because it's a tournament, right? It's not like I'm just trying to win money.
That's our thing. You see, I'm more aggressive. Mark sits back a little too much.
That's okay, though. It's a tournament setting, so I don't know. Maybe you can cheer me on, and if you think I'm making a mistake, just yell at me or something like that.
Don't be afraid to throw a few elbows. That's the thing. Don't let other players around the table, if they look complacent, boom, elbow.
All right, I will. And we still plan on getting together on Friday and Saturday morning of VIMP at 10 a.m. at the Golden Gate to have craps lessons and just play with everybody. And then on that Saturday, we're only going to be able to do it for about an hour because at 11 o'clock, Derek Stevens is going to give everybody a tour of the Las Vegas Club.
Okay.
Right, that he just bought.
Maybe we can continue it later at some point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
If people are interested, we can just tell them, hey, I will meet you, at the Nugget at a certain time.
Sure.
Now, what are we going to do? What's our contingency plan if we go to Golden Gate and there's no room?
Oh, we'll figure something out. If there's no room, we'll still be able to at least explain the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, it's fine. And I don't need to play.
Right.
I would rather maybe have you play, kind of show them stuff, and I can kind of talk about things and show them stuff, and you can actually show them what,
I don't know, watching me play is going to help anybody.
No, I think they'll enjoy it. They'll get a kick out of it. Now, look at what Dr. Mike's doing. You never want to do this. Yeah. All right. Speaking of VIMP, coming up very fast. In fact, if we follow our current schedule, what we usually do is we record on Wednesday night, every other Wednesday night, and then we post the episode on Thursday. If we stick with that schedule, our next show will come out on Thursday, October 15th, the day before VIMP starts. Okay?
Okay.
Let's stick to that schedule. Here's what I think we'll do. We'll record a show early that week instead of that Wednesday night because I don't want to be recording a show the night before we leave.
Right.
Maybe we'll record that Sunday.
Yeah, I have 3 hours free during the Charger game.
Oh, there you go. Good. Okay, we'll do that. And then I'll post it on Thursday.
Okay.
I'll post it like real early on Thursday morning so that episode will come out Thursday. People maybe who are traveling to VIMP then on that Thursday can download our episode, listen to it on then, and we'll be in good shape. Does that sound good?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, very good. Oh, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank Taylor for a PayPal donation. Taylor, we're going to see you at VIMP.
Yep, thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on the link at the top that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We always tweet when we're in a casino or on our way to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. And we're going to be tweeting like crazy from VIMP. And a reminder, you do not have to have a Twitter account to follow us on Twitter. All you have to do is go to twitter.com/YouCanBetOnThat, and you can see our tweets. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. What do you got, Dr. Mike?
Well, I'm really excited because it's 2 weeks away. I was thinking about this today.
I know.
Sometimes in between patients, I go in my office and I have a little breather and I sit there for a few minutes. And usually I'm thinking about Friday's going to be here soon. We're going to be playing craps or, something like that. But today I was thinking about VIMP. I was thinking, this is going to be fun, go there. So I hope a lot of people are coming.
It sounds like
there are, and it may be the largest turnout they've ever had.
I would think it would be. Yep.
Yeah. So it's great that people are going to come, and it's nice to see everybody. And I'm going to apologize right now for forgetting everybody's name.
I know, me too. We met people last year, and I'm going to forget. And like I said, I'm so bad. You could introduce yourself on Friday, and then Saturday, nice to meet you. That's how bad it is. So but we're going to try our best.
Let's just apologize for that right now. Yeah. I need a cheat sheet, like I know like FBI mugshot with everyone's name.
People should wear name tags. I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if we had like customized VIMP name tags? But name tags. Who wants to wear a name tag, right? But
nobody likes.
I don't know if it was VIMP-tastic, then maybe it would look pretty good there. But anyway, yeah.
I guess that's all I got. I'm just excited about that. I'm excited to embarrass you as much as possible.
Oh, that'll happen, my friend.
Yeah.
The problem is that when we do our show live, I won't be able to edit out all the stupid stuff you say.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to get a mouthful.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.